Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And for today's lesson, we're going to talk about and how to write a position paper. Let us define first what is a position paper. When we say a position paper, it is a written proposition of stance on an issue by way of sound and logical arguments supported with evidence. And in writing a position paper, it's very important to carefully examine and deliberate it first before you present your sentiments. And examining an issue, you will be in tune with your own beliefs, values, and assumptions. And remember that the main objective of a position paper is for you to air your views about an issue with the goal of convincing your reader to buy your idea. Now, what is the purpose of a concept paper or a position paper itself? So, these papers are written with the purpose of presenting your personal stance on an issue and try to persuade the readers to take on your side. So here in a position paper, it's like you are persuading or you're convincing your readers to believe in your point of view. And that is the goal of a position paper. How do we appeal to the audience of a concept or position paper? First, your position paper would appeal to the logic of the readers if it is written with sound arguments supported with evidence. So, in writing any academic paper, it is very important to to back up your opinion with evidences or proof so that you can encourage your readers to believe in your point of view. Second, it would appeal to the emotional side of the readers if the arguments are anchored to the reader's sentiments and emotions as well as human interest level. Now, for example, your readers can relate with your point of view or with your stance. Therefore, you can easily encourage or you can easily make them believe about your point of view. So if you have same point of view, then that will be a plus for your position paper. Next, we have addressing readers with whom you have opposing views with. You need to consider their knowledge, values, and assumptions. Of course, as a writer, if you have indirect opinion or if you have different position on a certain issue or topic, you have to respect the opposite, your opponent, or the other person. So you have to respect their point of view. Next one, how do we write a position paper? Step 1, choosing and exploring an issue. This step involves listing the possible issues or topics for your paper. Now, in defining the issue, you must consider factors such as, is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it relevant? Or is it within time constraints? So you have to deal with those factors to check if you can create an effective position paper. 2. Researching on the issue. After you have chosen an issue for your paper, you are now ready to gather needed data. And the data that you're going to include within your position paper must be valid and relatively connected within the topic itself. 2. Researching on the issue. After you have chosen an issue for your paper, you are now ready to gather needed data. And the data that you're going to include within your position paper must be valid and relatively connected within the topic itself. Next one, we have primary or field research is composed of 3 types. So first one is, of course, observation phase. Phase 1. So we have observations. It is a tool in gathering information from an actual observation of the place or subject in relation to the environment. Taking notes of the observation may be after the first visit or a series of visits. So it's very important to have an observation first before you proceed to the next step of your position paper. So it's a matter of a process. So you have to observe first before proceeding or before you proceed to the next step. Next one, we have interviews. So this one, it is a data gathering tool in which the information is gathered, is obtained from a person knowledgeable on the topic. An interview has 4 steps. We have planning and setting up, note-taking, reflecting on the interview, and writing up your notes. Next one, we have survey or questionnaire. Here, it is a series of written questions a participant answer, and this method gathers responses to questions that are essay or agree, or neutral, or disagree style. So we're done with the primary research. Now let's proceed to secondary research or library research. Here, it involves gathering information from published materials such as websites, books, journals, and articles. Next one, we have step 3, considering your specific purpose. Here, you're going to write a paragraph reflecting your thesis statement, which is the central idea in your paper. A strong thesis statement has the following characteristics. First, a strong thesis statement takes some sort of stand. Second, a strong thesis statement justifies discussion. Third, a strong thesis statement expresses one main idea. Fourth one, a strong thesis statement is specific. And fifth one, a strong thesis statement considers the audience of the paper. So basically, those are the things that you need to remember in creating your thesis statement. It should be specific, it should have only one idea, and of course, your thesis statement must consider, of course, your audience. And yeah, that's all. Step 4, developing your reasoning or argumentation. Here, reasoning is the process of drawing a conclusion based on evidences. It will test your skills in reasoning, basically. So you can be able to express your thoughts and opinions regarding on the topic. And you have to explain it very well and at the same time provide evidences or proof so that you can be able to get your audience attention. And that's it. Step 4. Argumentation presents an opinion or a position on controversial topic to the reader. It explains, clarifies, and illustrates that opinion or position. Next one, how can you attract your readers in your position paper? So here, it persuades the reader that the opinion or position supported by the paper is valid by, first, moving the reader to action. Second, convincing the reader that the position is correct. So it's a challenge. Third, persuading the reader that the position is at least worth considering. So make sure that as they read your position paper, it should be worth it. Worth of knowledge, worth of reasoning, and worth of judgment regarding on the topic. So, as a writer, you must support your position by means of giving evidence. Number 1, facts. Number 2, examples. Number 3, physical description. Number 4, support of authority and statistics. Step 5, anticipating and generating counter-arguments. Here, in writing an effective position paper, you need to present arguments to the thesis and refute them respectfully and critically. So, if you really need to rebut the explanation of the other opponent or of the other person, so you have to take it with respect. As a writer, you must support your position by means of giving evidence. One way to strengthen your argument is to show that you can anticipate and address the counter-arguments or objections that your readers may have. And once you've anticipated your counter-arguments, you may start generating your own counter-arguments. Step 6. Refuting counter-arguments. Refutation refers to the process of discrediting the arguments that oppose your thesis statement. Refuting counter-arguments is done by claiming that they are, first, incorrect, demonstrating that the counter-arguments is wrong because it is based on incorrect or misleading information. The second one, if it is irrelevant, showing that the counter-argument is inappropriate and unrelated because it is not relevant to the counter-arguments, which is the key point. Third, insufficient, showing that the counter-argument is weak because it is based on insufficient information or ignores significant information. Last step, step 7, drafting your position paper. In drafting your position paper, you have to make sure that all parts, introduction, body, and conclusion, are in sync or synchronous and coherent to contribute the overall content of the paper. In writing your draft, you should include the beginning, your argument, and the ending. Thanks for watching. See you in my next one. Please like, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button for more lessons to learn. Bye!